Hey guys, it's Shay, and welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. So in today's video, I actually want to talk about anime franchises, and that's mostly because I read a pretty interesting article, which of course I will always link in the description box if you guys want to check it out. And it's basically trying to predict or talk about what shows can become the next big franchises. Now, out of the 5 anime that they listed on here, I only knew of 2 of them, and those are the webtoon series turned anime shows, The God of High School and Tower of God. Now, to be completely honest, I don't know if these shows are going to become anime franchises because I can't predict what show becomes huge and what shows do not become huge. Sorry, that was my cat. But I can say I do kind of recognize shows that have become franchises. And when I think of shows that have been franchises, I think of Dragon Ball Z, I think of Sailor Moon, I think of Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. The list kind of goes on and on, but those shows specifically I can think of as franchises because they spawned several different seasons. They've become a cult classic, not really a cult classic, but they become a classic among anime fans and fans who aren't typically into anime or people think typically won't be into anime. They've been on US television, so a lot of people have been able to watch it, and a lot of us kind of grew up with these shows, and it has spawned several different types of merchandise, from toys, books, movies, to like several different series, and also of course video games, both mobile and console games. I am counting in this respect. Oh, and also as far as the franchise is concerned, you obviously can't forget Pokemon, because that is like the king of franchises besides Dragon Ball Z. But I think the main reason why, to me, I feel like shows now are a little bit harder now to become franchises is basically because I feel like so many shows don't go beyond a first season, or when a show does come out with a second season, it's never as good as the original, or they just kind of flub on it altogether, which kind of causes you as the fan to not enjoy the show as much, or it takes a lot longer for a second season to be released. Like, for example, Attack on Titan. The show released a first season, and then it took like 2 or 3 years before the second season even came out, which caused a lot of people to kind of lose interest. Plus, I think the lack of like anime being on television beyond just being like a weird late night scheduling is another thing to me that kind of has hindered a show becoming a huge franchise. Because if we think about shows when we were kids and anime that was on, like Pokemon, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, so on and so forth, they came on regular television. They came on at a pretty good time slot. So a lot of people were able to enjoy it, and a lot of people who typically had never really watched it was able to tune in, watch an episode, and then decide whether or not they actually really liked the show. Because I'm gonna be honest, that's kind of how I got into Pokemon. I just happened to come across the show on a Saturday morning, and the rest was pretty much history. Similar to other shows that I've actually kind of watched, but Pokemon specifically in this case. But I just don't see a lot of shows nowadays becoming huge franchises because of this aspect. And because of the aspect that entertainment itself has changed, this might cause it to both not be a franchise, but also cause it to kind of be an easier show to become a franchise. And the reason why I'm like kind of saying both of these reasons is, well, let me kind of explain. What I mean by hindering a show becoming a franchise is because of the fact there's so many different streaming services out there. Very rarely do you see people who have traditional cable anymore. Most people kind of have an Apple TV or a Roku or something that is able to download and through an app for you to be able to watch the show that you want to watch. And so many TV services now offer apps. So example like Crunchyroll, Funimation, Netflix, so on and so forth. Plus, the anime streaming wars has caused where there's like so many different streaming services that you can watch anime on, that a lot of times anime is still specifically put into its own category where it's not really seen unless you're someone who's actively searching for it. Not always, but I'm saying sometimes, and that's only because I know that anime comes on not just like Crunchyroll and Funimation, but also on like Hulu and Netflix, and also of course Amazon Prime. Another reason why I feel like it could easily become a franchise is because of this aspect, because you do have streaming services that are not catered to anime fans showing anime, which is why I pointed out Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime. These specific streaming services offer tons of entertainment for everybody. So why wouldn't it then cause an anime to become a franchise or become like loved by so many people who didn't think that they would enjoy this show because it is purely animated? But I feel like also, like I mentioned before, that the lack of shows getting a second season or taking a long time to get second seasons sometimes hinders a show to becoming a franchise. And I think also because at the time when anime was purely kind of just shown on TV and the internet wasn't really a thing, it caused where like fans were super dedicated to this show or to a particular show because it came on TV. So you kind of had to stick it out in a way, whereas now, since anime is so readily available, that we as fans, it's kind of like the market is like oversaturated, if that makes any sense. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is that because so many shows are being cranked out like crazy, and because of the internet and because of, you know, technology, shows aren't becoming franchises like they were before because there's so many coming at us at once. Whereas before, when most of us just watched anime on TV, we kind of took what we could get, and that kind of caused where we became obsessed with the show and wanted more because it was new to us. That was what we saw, and we didn't see a lot of shows like that a lot. Now, could I be wrong? Yes. Could shows like the Tower of God and the God of High School and other shows become big franchises? Yes, because I mean, we've seen it before. My Hero Academia, to me at this point, is a franchise. It has spawned multiple seasons. It has spawned merchandise. It has spawned movies that have came out in theaters and have made bank at the box office. So yes, I do consider that a franchise. Do I see it happening more often with shows? Probably. I honestly don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that shows like the Tower of God or the God of High School or any other shows that you can think of are coming out that are not yet out, or maybe just have one season, have the potential to be franchises? I don't know. I mean, that's just what I think. You know, things can change, things can happen, you know, who knows. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys today. Of course, I do want to read your comments. Please comment down below your thoughts. I try to respond to everybody's comments, or at least like their comment if I'm not for sure how to respond, or if it doesn't really, you know, warrant a response. Also, of course, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already as well. And of course, I have links down below to all my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, a blog, so please check me out on all those different social medias. And like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy in today's day and age, stay healthy, and stay safe. All right, you guys.